Hello, dear viewer. My name is Fergus Fadden, and I am your YouTube CELTA tutor. In this video, let's talk about CCQs. When I think about CCQs, the first question I'd really like to consider is this one. Are CCQs a performance? So what do I mean when I'm asking this question? Are CCQs a performance? Well, sometimes we can see, especially when we're starting out in our teaching career and doing our initial training course, whether that be CELTA or TEFL or CERT or any of the others, we kind of see something like a teacher is teaching some vocabulary and they've elicited the vocabulary quite well and it's on the board, and then the students go to start to do a gap fill exercise to practice with this vocabulary, and then the teacher's like, oh, wait a minute. Is a house something I live in or something I work in? And the students is like, what? Because they're already thinking about maybe doing their practice exercise, and they're like, well, you live in it. And you know, my example may be a little bit extreme, although I guarantee you these kinds of things do happen to all of us, myself included, in the past. So what we really need to do is think about, why is this happening, and some reasons why this might be happening, why this kind of like contrived aspect of our delivery of CCQs is occurring is, well, there's many reasons, and it's you can't say it's just one or the other, but some could be like, it's something new and I have to incorporate this into my teaching, so I'm going to tack it on, or I've written these list of questions and I must use them. Or another one is, there's my tutor sitting in the corner or online observing me and evaluating me, and I must do CCQs, otherwise my tutor is going to tell me I must use CCQs more. And indeed, these are all decent reasons, in fact, because it's part of our learning process and part of our developmental process. However, where we really want to get to is a point where CCQs themselves are, in fact, just a naturally incorporated part of our teaching. So, with that in mind, I recently received an email that said, "Hi Fergus, I was wondering if you could perhaps help me with nouns and CCQs." So, by the way, I put my email on the channel here, and please do reach out to me if you're looking for preparation courses or consultations. But slight disclaimer: I can't do your homework for you. I can't write any of your lesson plans or your assignments or anything like that, although I'm very happy to work with people and offer advice, etc. And hence that's the purpose of this video, because I thought the question is great, although I can't say, here, do this. It's not my job, after all. I am a tutor, not a trainee. So the email went like this: I was wondering if you could perhaps help me with nouns and CCQs. I'm seriously having trouble with the words notebook, magazine, newspaper, letter, diary, passport, bill, menu, and textbook. I feel they are all so similar. It's for my assignment and I'm really blocked. So I really hope that spending some time and reading up on approaches to CCQs, that you're able to get your assignment done there, Jade. But I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about this in a little bit of depth and kind of approaches for achieving this successfully. So the first thing I just would say, I do have a video on this channel. Please do check it out: how to write concept checking questions. That one is from 2013, a little bit old, but still relevant to this day. So please do go ahead and check it out. But towards Jade's question, so here's what I would kind of think about doing. I might, ask my students, first of all, I'd ask them something like, what can we write? Or, I might even write that on my whiteboard, or if I'm teaching online, I'll have my slides set up with, what can we write on? And just throw that out to the students, maybe the whole class, if depending on the level, if they're going to give me some ideas right away, or if they're a talkative, outgoing kind of group, I might do it whole class, or I might hand it over to pairs. Compare with your partner 1 minute. What can you write on? And again, if I notice some silence, I might give an idea and write something like a whiteboard, for example. Then take up the students' ideas and again put them on your online board or your actual in-classroom board, and get towards your target language. Now, at this stage, I should say, this doesn't prove that the learners know what all of these things are. They could be just words that they've heard, that they know it's something about writing, but they may not know the difference between a diary and a notebook, for example, or a magazine and a newspaper, for example. So just because they've said the words, we still can't say, there still needs to be some concept checking done to make sure that everybody understands. So for me, rather than getting into definitions and speaking concept checking questions, so is a newspaper something I write on, or is it something more that somebody else writes on that I read? That's long and wordy and might be confusing for learners. So for something like this, the way I would concept check is I'd bring in some images, and I'd show these images and say, okay, look, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images, and here we have 9 words. So more words than images. So it's not going to be a pure process of elimination. And just, again, pairs, ask them, can you match them up? And maybe do the first one with the group. Oh, I went on a slide a little too early. Do the first one with the group. So everybody, look at this picture right here. What can you see? Which word is it? And as soon as you get notebook, then really, what more is there to do? They can see that's a notebook, the word is notebook, the concept is checked. If you were then to go and say, okay, so the student has said that's notebook, and then if you go and say, is a notebook something that I can read about current affairs in? That's tacking on a concept checking question. That's sticking one on at the end. And in fact, it could end up being counterproductive because the student may be confused. Because they may be like, well, I just saw it's that picture. Why is the teacher asking me this strange question? So my point here is realize when the concept has been checked. You can clarify meaning by more than just asking and concept check by more than just asking is it this or that type of question. Those are great. I use them. I encourage you to use them on your course. But you need to grow in language awareness. And also, this is a maxim. I've said it many, many times, and you'll hear it many times throughout your training and indeed your teaching career. Less is more. Realize when you have what you need to achieve your aims, and then anything extra is just fluff, or it could even be getting in the way. It could even be a distraction. So, I've with like here on my slide with 3 materials really, like a question, a prepared list of language, and some images. I'm able to quite effectively clarify meaning and form, and then of course it's my job to drill pronunciation, so MFP, of my target language there. And there's nothing more to do really. Now, if we did go on and there's still some confusion, there may be a place for a concept checking question, which we'll get to in just one moment. But before I do go on, I'd just like to ask you all, how do you go about writing concept checking questions. Please do like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. How do you go about writing your concept checking questions? Or indeed using them? Do you write them formally, or do you think about them in the moment and think about what's logical and necessary? As usual, you can find me on all of the social media. So I'm on, well, all of these 3 social media. I'm on Twitter at Fergus Teacher, Facebook at Integrated Skills, that's a Facebook page, Instagram at Integrated Skills ESL. And of course, as I said, not to do your homework or assignments or anything like that, but if you're interested in a consultation or an online preparation course, please do feel free to email me at fergustrainer@gmail.com. So I did mention just before my question of the day there, that there may indeed still be a moment for a concept checking question. Maybe after you've elicited your list of language and they've matched the images, there could be still some confusion. Or maybe, in your anticipated problems, you see like 2 words which could be kind of similar, like what I mentioned before, the notebook and the diary. So you may still want to have some actual concept checking questions prepared for that. And a really good way for vocabulary, there's many ways of doing it, but a good way of doing it is, have an image and then have 2 possible words. One word is the right word and one word is the wrong word. So let me show you what I mean. So you might show this image and ask the students, is this a diary or a notebook? Simple as that. And if they're looking confused, say, hey, look at this number, look, what number is that? Okay, try and draw their attention to what's in the image to clarify the meaning. And voila, let them know what it is not, let them know what the correct answer is, and there you have it. So, there is a place for the concept checking question still, if the difficulty remains after you've elicited a language and students have done all their matching with images, etc. Now, disclaimer, of course, images don't work for everything. If you're teaching grammar, for example, images are probably not going to be the way to go. This is just an example for vocabulary. It doesn't work every single time with vocabulary. If the vocabulary is more abstract nouns and adjectives and things like that, then it's not really going to work as well. So you need to always take this approach. Less is more. How can I get the meaning across? How can I make sure that the students have understood? Is it through asking concept checking questions? Is it by doing a contrast? Is it by using an image? Ask yourself what is the best, most efficient way, and then realize when it's done and move on. And then it will become a more natural part of your teaching and seem less of a kind of added extra, for want of a better word. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe, all of that good stuff. Leave a comment below, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.